Am I audible? Hello? Okay. Right. Uh, Good morning, students. Today, I will be talking about module 5, which is Z transforms. Z transforms. One of the easiest topics. After that, I'll come back to the other modules, right? So, since it is easy, I have taken this here. What is transform? First of all, you should understand what is transform, what is the necessity of transform, and why so many transforms, why only Z transform. So we know that. So what is a transform? First of all, we shall understand what is transform. Transforms are the mathematical tools. Transforms are the mathematical tools which are used to make the analysis simple. Okay. What do you mean by a tool? So we heard of it. The tools are nothing but what? I think you heard of a toolkit in your bike or anything like that. So what is a tool? A tool consists of, it may be a cutting plier, spanner, something like that. All those things, wrench, everything will be there. So what is the purpose of that? The purpose of that is nothing but what? To make your work easy. So those are the mechanical tools. Mechanical tools are nothing but to make the mechanic, if the net is very tight, to make it loose, we go for spanner. Is it right? So these are the mechanics. So that means the tools are nothing but what? These are the devices or instruments which are making your work easy. Similarly, we have mathematical tools. Mathematical tools are used to make the mathematical analysis simple. So like that, all transforms, the purpose of all transforms are that only, right? To make the analysis simple, we go for these tools, mathematical tools. So these mathematical tools we have, sir, why so many transforms are there? We have Z transform, Laplace transformation, Fourier transformation, what is that, dual tree complex Fourier transform, wavelet transform, bilinear transform, like thousands of transforms are there. So purpose of that is what? To depending upon your requirement, we go for different types of tools to make the analysis simple, right? For example, you can't do all the work using screwdriver or tester. We need, for different purpose, we need different kind of tools. Similarly, for depending on the application, we go for different kinds of tools, right? So in this, I will be talking about the Z transformation, which is one of the simplest tool. Simplest tool is nothing but what? Just like your tester. Tester is nothing but what? It is a tool, easiest tool, and you can easily carry in the pocket. Is it right? So like that, Z transform and Laplace transformations are simple tools, easy to do. But Fourier transformation is like a big tools, like for big complicated things, for complicated circuits or complicated problems, we go for Fourier transformation for more information. But Z transform and Laplace transformation are like tester, easy to do the analysis. So that's what we go for. See, what is this Z transformation? First, in the examination, they'll ask the question, define Z transformation and ROC. 4 marks they'll ask. Okay, right? So what is this Z transform? So Z transformation is the mathematical tool. Z transformation is a mathematical tool which is used to make the analysis simple by converting a signal from one domain to other domain. That is particularly domain change. What do you mean by domain? So first you understand that what is domain. For example, let us say I have a sinusoidal signal and it is varying with respect to time. Let us say sin omega t. The meaning of this is time domain. The meaning of if some quantity is varying with respect to time or some parameter, that parameter is nothing but domain. So it is time domain. Same thing if you express in terms with respect to frequency, we call it as frequency domain, right? So to convert from one domain to another domain, we need some transforms, right? Transforms are nothing but mathematical tools. Don't think that, sir, transforms will change the signal. No, sorry. Transform will not change the signal. This is another way of representing it. It is a mathematical tool. Mathematical tool cannot change the signal. It is another way of representing the signal. Is it right? So therefore, so here, any transform for that, for example, basic transform like any transform will convert signal from one domain to another domain. What is that domain? Time domain to Z domain, let us say. Then we use Z transformation. Time domain to F domain. Time domain to F domain. So what is that we have? Fourier transformation. Time domain to S domain, we use Laplace transformation, right? So these are the different kinds of transformations. We are converting from one domain. That means If you are representing a some quantity with respect to time, the same signal we are representing with respect to z, we call it as z transform. If you are representing with respect to s, that's what we do it in control system. Yes, so based on the value of s, we are going to have the different pole positions. Is it right? That's what. That is s domain. And with respect to f, frequency domain, we call it as frequency domain. Fourier transformation with respect to frequency. So this is f. This is with respect to s. That means by using the different transforms, we can convert from one domain to another. Even f to z is also allowed. That is known as bilinear transformation. All these things you are going to learn. So now I am talking only ABCD of the transforms, and the first one I'll talk about is Z transformation, right? Okay, right. So ultimately, what is a transform? Transformation is a mathematical tool which is used to make the analysis simple by converting a signal from one domain to other domain, right? So here we are converting, in case of Z transformation, we are converting a signal from time domain to Z domain, right? So Z transformation is a mathematical tool which is used to make the analysis simple by converting a signal from time domain to Z domain. So, and is defined by, if x of, it is applicable only for discrete time signal. For continuous time signal, Laplace transformation we use. For Z transformation, we use, what is that? For discrete time signal, we use Z transformation. Fourier transformation is applicable for both continuous as well as discrete time signal. So, it is defined like this. The transformation of any signal x of n has a transformation x of z. We can write it like the meaning of this one is x of n is a discrete time signal, time domain. This is z domain. In terms of z, we are representing. Here we are writing it using small letters. Here we are going to use capital letters. The meaning of this one is x of n has z transformation x of z. X of n has z transformation x of z, and two-sided arrow mark indicates what? X of z has inverse z transformation x of n. Okay, right. So x of n has z transformation x of z and is defined by x of z is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into z to the power of minus n. X of n into z to the power of minus n, where z is a complex quantity. Where z is a complex quantity. Okay. Now don't think this is Laplace transform. In the case of Laplace transform, Laplace is the name of a scientist. And Fourier transformation, Fourier is the name of a scientist. But Z is not a name of a scientist. It is a complex quantity. It is a complex quantity. Z is a complex quantity and is given by Z is equal to R into e to the power of j omega. This is capital omega. It's not ohm. See, this is the Greek alphabet omega, capital omega. This is small omega. Okay, right? And this is used for symbol. What is that? For to represent the resistance, we call it as ohms. And ohm is represented by using this symbol. But this is the English alphabet, the Greek alphabet, capital omega. This is small omega. So for discrete, we can use this one also. We can use, or we can use it as, sometimes we use R into e to the power of j omega, where R is the what? Magnitude of Z. These are the form R into e to the power of I theta. R is the magnitude, omega is the angle. Because since Z is a complex quantity and Z, R is what? Magnitude of Z. Magnitude of Z. And omega is the angle of Z, phase angle of Z. Okay, right? So this, using this one, we can convert the signal from time domain to Z domain, and how it will be easy to analyze, that we will come to know in the later stages, right? Now we shall go for the Z transformation of it and how to obtain the Z transformation and what are the significance and what are some features of the Z transformation. All those things we shall learn it. Okay, right. So before going to understand this Z transformation, we shall understand a little bit Fourier transformation to make the relation between Z and Fourier. Okay, right? So we shall understand a little bit Fourier. Okay, Fourier transform or discrete time Fourier transformation, because discrete time Fourier transformation. I will not do the detailed study of the discrete time Fourier transformation. I will do this one in the module number 4 in detail. For the time being, I want to relate Z transformation and Fourier. For that sake, this is known as DTFT, discrete time Fourier transformation, DTFT, discrete time Fourier transformation, DTFT. See, let us say I have a x of n. X of n is a discrete time signal having the DTFT, discrete time Fourier transformation. Discrete time Fourier transformation, x of e to the power of j omega, then x of j e to the power of j omega is defined by summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of n into e to the power of minus j omega n. So this is the definition of a Fourier transformation. This is the definition of what? Fourier transformation or discrete time Fourier transformation, right? If that is the case, and where omega is the angular frequency, okay, right? If that is the case, let us take an example just to understand this, just to familiarize with the Fourier transform. Find the Fourier transformation. Find DTFT of the signal of x of n is equal to half to the power of n into u of n. Okay. X of e to the power of j omega. X of e to the power of j omega is equal to what? We know by definition. Summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. X of n is nothing but what? In place of x of n, you put this half to the power of n into u of n into e to the power of minus j omega n. Okay, right. Since this signal is multiplied by u of n, instead of summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, I can make summation n varies from 0 to infinity, half to the power of n into e to the power of minus j omega n. Okay, right. So therefore, what is that? You can write it x of e to the power of j omega, x of e to the power of j omega, x of e to the power of j omega is equal to what? Summation n varies from 0 to infinity, half into e to the power of minus j omega, whole to the power of n. Half into e to the power of minus j omega whole to the power of n, we can write it. Use the formula. What is this one? So this is nothing but equal to from the a to the power of n, which is nothing but equal to what? 1 divided by 1 minus a minus j omega, provided magnitude of this quantity is less than 1. Magnitude of a is less than 1. Magnitude of this quantity is what? R into e to the power of I theta. Magnitude is half, which is less than 1 only, right? So therefore, this is the one. So this is the Fourier transformation of a quantity. What is that? We have x of n is equal to half to the power of n into u of n, and this is the definition of the Fourier transformation. Okay, right. So now, using this concept, we shall relate Z transformation and then what is the relation? Just to familiarize this. This is the definition. One example I have taken just to familiarize with the discrete time Fourier transformation. Now I want to relate what is the relation between Z transformation and Fourier transformation, the discrete time Fourier transformation, right? So now relation between Z transform and DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform, or just Fourier transform, we can Fourier transform. How to relate this? Okay, right. So now what is that we have? We know that by definition, what is that we have? By definition, Z transformation x of Z is equal to what? X of Z is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of n into e to the power of minus j omega n. Sorry, x of n into z to the power of minus n. Z to the power of minus n. We all know that R is equal to, what is that? We know that R is z is equal to R into e to the power of j omega. Substitute that. Therefore, x of R into e to the power of j omega is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. X of n into what is that we have? R into e to the power of j omega whole to the power of minus n. Okay, right. Now let us take magnitude of magnitude of z, which is nothing but equal to r, is equal to 1. Then what will you get? X of e to the power of j omega is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into, when r is equal to 1, e to the power of minus j omega. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but your DTFT, no? Discrete time Fourier transformation. That means Z transformation can be, this is your DTFT. That means Z transformation can be reduced to Fourier transformation or discrete time Fourier transformation, keeping the magnitude of Z is equal to 1 or R is equal to 1, right? So that is the relation between discrete time Fourier transformation and Z transformation. Okay. Sir, why do you want to relate it and why do you want to go for this one? The reason is, so this will give the frequency information. This is very simple tool, right? So if you want frequency information, we can go for discrete time Fourier transformation and it can easily relate it, right? That's how we should do it. Okay, some of the features of this transformation. Okay, right. So what are the features of the transformation? Are significant points of the transformation. And first and foremost is Z transformation is applicable only for discrete time signals. It is only for discrete time signals. It is applicable only for what? Discrete time signals, not for continuous time signal. For continuous time signal, we use Laplace transformation, right? That is the first point what we have. Okay, and the basic advantage of the easy to obtain. Easy to obtain. What is the second advantage of Z transformation? Easy to obtain. Okay, right? And what is the device? As I said, transforms are the mathematical tools which are used to make the analysis simple, I said now. So now what it is going to make it simple? That is particularly that is convolution. We know that in time domain convolution is a complex process. Keep case 1, case 2, shift it, all those things shift from minus infinity to plus infinity. But instead, this will become very easy. So what is that we have? So easy to convolution process become very easy. Convolution process become very easy. Become very easy. That is the second point. The third point, very easy. So instead of doing all those things, we can go for Z transformation. That means convolution process means what? We do the convolution in time domain. Instead of doing it in time domain, what you do is take the Fourier Z transformation and multiply it, and you will come to know in the later stages. Multiply it, then you take the inverse Z transformation. You can easily get it, right? That's what you will get back the convolved signal. Now, not only the solution of difference equation, solution of difference equation become very easy. Difference equation become very easy using the transformation. Okay, right. And even stability of the system can be verified. Find out stability of system can be checked easily. Stability of the system can be checked easily. Even causality also we can verify it. We can verify. Okay. And transfer function of the system can be easily found. Transfer function of the system can be easily found. Transfer function of the system can be easily found. So these are some of the features of this transformation, right? So with this, let us move on to the next topic. So keep this in mind while doing the applications. We can easily adopt all these features. Okay, right. So now Z plane. Okay, right. What is this Z plane? Okay, Z plane is something like this. It is in terms of Z. It is a graph of Z plane is the graph of real part of Z, real part of Z versus imaginary part of Z, imaginary part of Z. So this plane, whatever we have, this plane we call it as Z plane. A graph of real part of Z versus imaginary part of Z is known as Z plane. Okay, we can easily draw a circle. So here real part, see, because we know that Z transformation is a complex quantity. When it is a complex quantity, we have real part as well as imaginary part. So the real part versus imaginary part graph is there, no? That we call it as what is known as Z plane. In the Z plane, we can draw a circle with radius is equal to unity, and this is your radius r, and this is your angle theta. Okay, right? So this is known as, if the r is equal to 1, that we call it as unit circle. Unit circle. Okay. Unit circle is nothing but what? It is a circle which is joins. It is a locus of a point, which is the locus of a point which moves such that magnitude of z, which is r, is equal to 1. That means this is the point which joining all the points whose magnitude is equal. So on this line, at all the points, magnitude of z is equal to 1. That is this joining the complex quantity whose magnitude is equal to 1. All those points, if you join, that we call it as unit circle. And as we all know that on the unit circle, Z transformation reduces, because when R is equal to 1, what will happen? Z transformation reduces to Fourier transformation. So therefore, what is the meaning of it? On the unit circle, Z transformation reduces to Fourier transformation. So therefore, we can say that on the unit circle, Z transformation reduces to Fourier transformation, right? So that's what we can say. On the unit circle, the transformation is reduces to Fourier transformation. So sorry, the transformation reduces to Fourier transformation, right? 1 minute. Okay, right. So this graph is on the unit circle where Z is reduces to Fourier transformation. Next is another important topic, region of convergence. Region of convergence. Region of convergence, and it's a very, very important topic, and more familiarly known as ROC. What do you mean by convergent? First of all, when do you say a quantity x of z is convergent? X of z is said to be convergent. X of z is said to be convergent if x of z is finite. X of z is said to be finite if x of z is said to be convergent if it is x of z is obtainable or finite. Obtainable or finite. Okay, right. Then what do you mean by region of convergence? That means, let us see, if you consider the z plane. In this z plane, we have different. What is this? The z plane contains. This is the real part of z, real z. This is imaginary z. We have different here. This is the region where in different values of z are existing. Okay, right. For certain ways, for all the values of z, x of z may not exist, because summation x of z definition, what it says, x of z is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x of n into z to the power of minus n. Because since the summation is there from minus infinity to plus infinity, at some point you may get x of z may be infinity, then it is not obtainable. For certain values of z, it is x of z is obtainable. So the z's are where it is. What is the z plane contains? Z plane contains the different values of z. For certain values of z, x of z is finite. For other values, it doesn't exist at all. That is infinite. So therefore, the region specified in the z plane, for which x of z is obtainable or finite is known as region of convergence. What do you mean by convergence? X of z is said to be convergent if it is obtainable or finite. Then what do you mean by region of convergence or ROC? It is the region specified in the z plane, because z plane contains different values of z. For certain values of z, x of z is obtainable. The region specified in the z plane for which x of z is obtainable is known as region of convergence. Is known as what? Region of convergence. So therefore, this is very, very important definition. You can note down that it is the values of z. These are the value. Region of convergence is what? It is a region specified in the z plane. It is a region specified in the z plane for which x of z is obtainable or finite. So this definition is asked in the examination twice. Define z transformation ROC, 4 marks they are asked. So therefore, you should be very much careful. First, while defining the, you should understand this one. Only not definition. This will play important role in the later stages. So what is the meaning of region of convergence? So because definition part is one, but other part is to understand the subject, we need to understand the meaning of region of convergence. First, you understand convergence. Convergence is nothing but the x of z is said to be convergent if its x of z is obtainable or finite. Then what do you mean by region of convergence? It is these are the values of z. These are the values of z for which x of z is obtainable or finite is known as region of convergence, right? So therefore, so this is a very, very important topic in the z transformation. ROC everywhere it is specified. Now, so now let us understand what is poles and zeros. Already you might be knowing it in the control system. So poles and zero, pole, P-O-L-E-S, poles and zeros. What are poles and zeros? Very simple one. Let us take one example, then I will come to the definition of it. So otherwise it may be confusing for you. X of z, let us consider an example. Find the poles and zeros. Find poles and zeros, and draw pole zero plot, given x of z is equal to z into z minus 1 divided by z plus 1 into z plus 2. Something like that we have. Okay, right. So what is that we have? First of all, what is a pole? Poles are the simplest way and standard definition. Both I will give it. Poles are nothing but these are the values of z. These are the what? Values of z. Values of z for which x of z is equal to infinity. X of z is equal to infinity. Poles are the values of z for which x of z is equal to infinity. What about zeros? Zeros are the values of z for which x of z is equal to 0. What do you mean by that? Okay, right. For what values of z? What values of z x of z is infinity? Example, poles. Example, what is that we have? In this example, x of z is equal to what? For what values of z x of z is infinity? So if the denominator becomes 0, anything by 0 is infinity, no? So therefore, z is equal to minus 1. Z is equal to minus 1 and z is equal to minus 2 are the poles of the x of z. Because minus 1 means what? Minus 1 plus 1, 0. Anything by 0 is infinity. Therefore, values of z for which x of z is equal to infinity. That means these are the values. Z is equal to minus 1, you will get x of z infinity. Z is equal to minus 2 also, x of z is infinity. Therefore, z is equal to minus 1 and minus 2 are the poles of this x of z. Or another way of defining the zeros poles is These are the roots of the, see, z is equal to -1, -2 means what? The roots of the denominator polynomial, no? So poles are nothing but roots of denominator polynomial. Okay. Roots of the, okay. What about zeros? Zeros are the values of z for which x of z. Zeros are the values for which x of z is equal to 0. For what value of 0? For what value of z x of z is 0? One is z is equal to 0. When z is equal to 0, 0 into anything is 0. By anything is 0 only. So z is equal to 0. Z is equal to 1. Z is equal to 1 also. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 into anything is 0. Divided by anything is 0 only. So zeros and what is that we have? Z is equal to zeros and ones are what is known as zeros of the x of z. So these are nothing but what? Roots of the numerator polynomial. Roots of numerator polynomial. Numerator polynomial. That means if you find the roots of the numerator polynomial, z is equal to 0 is one root, z is equal to 1 is one root. So what is that? Simplest way of understanding this one is values of z for which x of z is equal to infinity are nothing but poles. The values of z for which x of z is equal to 0 are known as 0. Or roots of the denominator polynomial are known as poles. Roots of the numerator polynomial are known as zeros. Right? So this is about, and what about pole zero plot? It is a graph in terms of z plane, which indicates the location of poles and zeros. Which indicates location of poles and zeros. Where are the poles and zeros? Okay, right. Poles are at where? -1 and -2. So this is 0. This is z axis. Real part only we have. Here this -1 and -2. And poles are represented by cross. Okay, right? These are the poles. And what about zeros? Zeros are at where? Zeros are at 0 and 1 and represented by circle. Zeros are represented by a circle, small circle. One is at 0, another one is at, where is it? 1. So these are known as zeros and zeros. That means this is known as pole zero plot. Pole zero plot. And this is the real z, real part of z, or this is imaginary part of z. And this is known as z plane. It is in z plane. In the z plane, if you are indicating the location, position of the poles and zeros, that plot becomes pole zero plot. That plot becomes what? Pole zero plot. Pole zero plot is the graph which shows the position of poles and zeros in z plane, right? So this is another important concept. Pole zero plot, poles and zeros, meaning of it, definition is very, very important. Poles are the values of z for which x of z is infinity. And zeros are the values of z for which x of z is equal to 0. Okay, that is very, very important concept in z transformation. Okay, right. So once you understand this concept, rest is only problems on this concept, right? Very easy concept. So that's all about the theory, basic background required to understand the z transformation. Now I'll start with the problems. Okay, right. So let us go for the problem number 1. Find the z transformation. Find the z transformation of x of n is equal to 2, 5, 7, 3, 1. Let us say R mark here. R mark indicates what? So this is the given in time domain. We'll have to convert it into z domain. So now, how will you find out? Go for the definition. X of z is equal to summation n, by definition. Summation n varies from -infinity to +infinity. X of n into z to the power of -n. Okay, right. Now this is the arrow mark indicates what? Arrow mark indicates the values of the function at 0. So this function is ranging from where to where? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 4 only it exists. Beyond that, it doesn't exist. Therefore, I can take the summation as what? Of z is equal to summation n varies from 0 to 4. 0 to 4, x of n into z to the power of -n. X of z is equal to x of 0 into z to the power of 0 plus x of 1 into z to the power of minus 1 plus x of 2 into z to the power of minus 2, x of 3 into z to the power of minus 3. I am giving the value for n. Summation is nothing but what? Adding value, adding this function for different values of n. So n from where to where? 0 to 4. So plus x of 4 into z to the power of minus 4. That's it. Which is that. Now you substitute the values of x of 0. X of 0 is nothing but what? X of n at 0 is nothing but what? X of 0. That is 2 into z to the power of 0 is 1 now. This is 1 plus x of 1 is what? 5 into z to the power of minus 1. I can write it as divided by z plus x of 2 is what? 0, 1, 2. 2 is what? 7. 7 divided by z square plus x of 3 is nothing but 3 divided by z cube plus x of 4 is what? 1 divided by z to the. That's it. X of z. Now find the value. So only this is not sufficient. When you're writing x of z and you should specify ROC, it is compulsory. ROC. What is this ROC? ROC is nothing but what? ROC is nothing but the values of z for which x of z is obtainable. What values it is obtainable? Check it for. Let us say I will give s z is equal to 2. 2 is it finite? 2, 5 by 2, 7 by 2 square, 3 by 2 square. All of so for 2 it is finite. 10 also it is finite. 5 by 10, all those things. For 10 also it is finite. 100 it is finite because all the finite values only will get it. So therefore, so what is that we say ROC? ROC is the region specified in the z plane for which x of z is obtainable for finite values of. So x of z is equal to infinity. 5 by infinity is 0, 7 by infinity is 0, 3 by infinity is 0, 1 by infinity is 0. So therefore 0 plus 2 is 2, finite. For infinity also it exists. What about 0? At 0, what is that we have? 5 by 0, infinity. Infinity plus anything is infinity. It doesn't exist. Therefore, ROC is nothing but what? It is the region specified in the z plane for which x of z is obtainable. X of z is obtainable for 2, 5, 100 as well as including infinity, except one value. What is that we have value? Z is equal to 0, you will get infinite. So ROC is the region specified in the z plane for which x of z is obtainable. X of z is obtainable for all values except z is equal to 0. Therefore, ROC is all z except z is equal to 0. That means that is IE. Mod z, magnitude of z greater than 0. Greater than or equal to is not, you should not write it. Greater than 0 means what? Z is 0 is excluded. So mod z greater than 0 is the ROC. That's how we should write it. So this is the z transformation of the sequence x of n, right? Now let us go for one more problem. Find the z transformation of x of n is equal to 3 comma minus 2 comma 4 comma 7. Arrow mark here. Once again same thing. X of z by definition is what? Summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. X of n into z to the power of minus n. Now x of z is equal to, even though summation is there from minus infinity to plus infinity, my signal is ranging from where to where? This is 0. Arrow mark indicates 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Therefore, summation n varies from where to where? Minus 3 to 0. X of n into z to the power of minus. Always go from left. So only to count, I will go from this side. 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus. Therefore, minus 3 to 0. Because minus 3 is least 1 compared to 0. So therefore, it should be minus 3 to 0. X of z is equal to, substitute the value of n for summation, add it. Okay. X of minus 3 into z to the power of minus n. Minus of minus 3 is what? Plus 3. Plus x of minus 2 into z to the power of minus 2 is plus 2. Plus x of minus 1. Sorry, this is minus 2. Minus 2 into. Okay, anyhow, this is not required now. It's still not at substituted. X of minus 2. X of minus 1 into z to the power of minus 1 plus 1. Plus x of 0. 7 x of 0 into z to the power of 0. X of z is equal to x of minus 3 into z cube, x of minus 2 into z square, x of minus 1 4 into z, plus x of 0 7 into z to the power of 0 is 1. Z to the power of 0 is 1. So this is the Z transformation X of Z. Okay, ROC, we'll have to find out. What is ROC? ROC, as I said, it is the region specified in the Z plane for which X of Z is obtainable or finite. X of Z is obtainable or finite. So now, what is about Z? Z is equal to, so start from 0. Z is equal to 0. Yes, this is 0, 0, 0 plus 7 is 7. So therefore, Z for 0 it is obtainable. Okay, for let us say 10, 10 cube, 10 square, 10 plus 7. So therefore, it is for 10 also it is finite. 100 is finite. What value it is? Let us take Z is equal to infinity. Z is equal to infinity. 3 into infinity. Infinity plus something minus something is infinity. Therefore, X of Z is finite except Z is equal to infinity. That means ROC is nothing but what? Region specified in the Z plane for which X of Z is obtainable. All values it is obtainable except one value. What is that one value? Z is equal to infinity. So ROC is what? All Z or entire Z plane. All Z or entire Z plane. Entire Z plane except Z is equal to infinity. That means or mod Z less than infinity. Mod Z less than infinity means what? All the values are included except Z is equal to, what is the value? Z is equal to infinity. That's why less than infinity means infinity is not included. Okay, right. So except Z is equal to infinity. So mod Z less than infinity we can get it, right? So that is your ROC, right? That's how we should do it now. Now let us take up another problem. X of n is equal to minus 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 7. Arrow mark here. Same definition. X of Z is equal to summation n varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. X of n into Z to the power of minus n. Z to the power of minus n. Now, X of Z is equal to, so arrow mark is what? 0. 0, minus 1, minus 2. So starting from minus 2, 0, 1, 2, up to summation n varies from minus 2 to plus 2. This arrow mark indicates 0th value. X of n into Z to the power of minus n. Therefore, X of Z is equal to X of minus 2 into Z to the power of 2, minus of minus plus X of minus 1 into Z to the power of 1, minus of minus 1, plus X of 0 into Z to the power of 0, plus X of 1 into Z to the power of minus 1, plus X of 2 into Z to the power of minus 2. Okay, right. So therefore, X of Z is equal to what? X of minus 2. X of minus 2 is what? Minus 2 into Z square. X of minus 1 is what? 3 into Z. X of 0 is what? 4 into Z to the power of 0 is 1. Plus X of 1. X of 1 is what? 5. 5 into, so 5 divided by Z. Plus X of 2 means what? 7 divided by Z square. Will you agree with that? So therefore, what about the ROC? This is your X of Z. ROC. What is ROC? For 0, what is that we have? 0, 0, 4, 5 by 0 is infinity. Infinity plus anything is infinity. For 0, it is not obtainable. Now we take infinity. Infinity means what? Infinity. Infinity, minus 2 into infinity is infinity. Infinity plus anything is infinity. So infinity also doesn't exist. Okay, right. What about other values? Let us say take 10. 10 squares, 10, 5 by 10, 7, all of them are finite. That means ROC is what? This X of Z is obtainable all values of Z except Z is equal to 0 and infinity. That means ROC is what? Entire Z plane except Z is equal to 0 and infinity. That is IE. Mod Z lies between 0 and infinity. Don't write equal to. Mod Z lies between 0 and infinity means what? include 0, exclude 0 as well as infinity, all other values, entire Z plane except Z is equal to 0 and infinity. So this is the Z transformation of this kind of sequence, right? So therefore, ROC indicates the values of Z for which x of Z is obtainable are finite. So for all values it is obtainable except Z is equal to 0 and infinity, right? I'll continue in the next class further different kinds of problems on this Z. So this is one of the easiest topic. Watch this one repeatedly so that you will understand the concept, right?